As usual, for the most part, for most of this match, Mexico played Brazil close. I thought that the way that Mexico came out and really approached Brazil inside the first 30, 40 minutes of this game, they played them as equals. And for large stretches of this game, Brazil was on the back foot, but their defense is just so suffocating. This is a side that gives hardly anything away. I believe Brazil has conceded, 6 goals in the last 2 years? They've only conceded 1 goal this World Cup so far. That was against Switzerland in their first match of Group E. But the first half was really exciting. It was really exciting because I've said before, I said that Mexico's brand of football, that sort of high-octane, high-flaring side, it matches up well with Brazil historically speaking. And in contemporary international footballing history, Mexico has a decent record against Brazil. And even when Mexico loses to Brazil, they manage to make it very close. I thought that Mexico was a little bit unlucky in the dying stages of this match to concede again. My prediction for this game was Brazil 1, Mexico 0. Brazil ended up winning 2-0 through a Firmino rebound towards the end of the game. I believe it was in the 83rd minute. But the way that Mexico approached Brazil in this game, I thought that the only thing they were really lacking was they got a little bit too eager in the final third. I thought that Gallardo and Lozano were a little bit too selfish on the ball. Whenever Mexico pressed on the counter, they had a lot of space going forward, but Gallardo, when he skied his effort high, it was completely unnecessary because he had Chicharito way down on the left hand flank. He could have laid it off to him. He could have laid it off to Carlos Vela, but he tried to attempt a shot from outside the box, and it was just completely unnecessary because Mexico should have retained possession for as much as possible in this game. And against a Brazilian team, a Brazilian defense that doesn't give hardly anything away, it's really not wise to opt for a banger outside of the box. And consequentially, because of that, Mexico lost possession. It went out for a goal kick for Alisson. Brazil got back possession, and then Brazil scored. Almost immediately after Gallardo made an attempt on goal that was not the best of decisions he could have made. Like I said, he could have laid it off to one of his teammates. Brazil won the ball back, ran down the field. Neymar scored. Brilliant footwork by Willian, by the way, giving the assist to Neymar. And Brazil took the lead in the 52nd minute. And then from then on out, it was Mexico chasing the game. Brazil was shutting off everything that they were doing. Mexico's finishing in this tournament has, I think, really been their undoing, and it was always going to come back to haunt them. They played a defending world champion Germany team that crashed out of this tournament. It's still an impressive feat for Mexico to beat Germany, absolutely. But you saw it in their game against Korea. You saw it against Sweden. This is a side that's lacking that extra bit of bite in that final third. But Lozano today was terrific. I thought his control on the ball was very top class. A lot of the crosses that were coming into Chucky, the way that he lobbed, the way that he controlled and settled down on his chest was absolutely stunning. Chucky Lozano's speed is also a really big asset for this Mexican team. But at the end of the day, Brazil is Brazil, and this is their 3rd game in a row in this World Cup that they've won 2-0. So they've kept 3 clean sheets. Feeling pretty good about predicting Alisson to finish with the Golden Glove, which was one of my pre-tournament predictions. But this is a Brazil team. They don't sit deep. They're a top class defensive side, but they don't sit deep. And I thought that arguably for the first half, Mexico and Brazil looked 50-50. But this is still a Brazilian team that can still punish you and defeat you when they're not playing at 100%. I thought Brazil was at about 70 to 75% today. And look what they did. And they're going to the quarterfinals. They're going to play the winner of Belgium and Japan. And I still think Brazil are favorites to win this tournament. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm not sure I see anyone stopping them. Maybe Belgium, maybe France, maybe Uruguay, if Cavani can come back in, can give Brazil a run for their money. But, for the most part, this team looks gilded. This team looks like they're headed towards being gilded. For Mexico's case, there's no shame. There's no shame in going out to a team that I feel is going to be the eventual champion. Mexico reaching their 7th consecutive round of 16. They go out at the round of 16 yet again. But I thought Mexico had a pretty decent World Cup. They had a good World Cup. They almost always have a good World Cup. Like I said, they played Brazil well. They didn't show any fear whatsoever. And that's kind of how you have to play against Brazil. You have to. Mexico's just missing that extra bit of quality, especially up front, I feel, to really make Brazil go through a serious case of looking like they're going to lose. At no point in this game did it ever look like Brazil were going to lose, but Mexico did make Brazil look like they were going to concede first for large stretches, like I said, of the first half. So, once Neymar put Brazil ahead, I thought it was relatively over from there because Mexico would have had to divert their game plan entirely. But they stayed in it. They stayed in it until late on with Firmino's tap in. And yeah, I mean, we knew this pretty much. Anyone that's familiar with CONCACAF football or South American football, regional tournaments like the Copa America, the Gold Cup, to a lesser extent, Confederations Cup, Brazil and Mexico, they always play close. Mexico even beats Brazil sometimes in Copa Americas. But I predicted Brazil to win this game. And for Mexico's case, they still haven't reached the elusive Quinto Partido. I think they will someday. But Brazil right now, this is a solid setup that Tite has. And this Brazil team, I want to see what's going to happen to see if anyone can stop them. Because if we get Brazil, Belgium in the quarterfinals, that's going to be fly. That's going to be a fly quarterfinal as fuck. As fuck. I want to see that quarterfinal. Brazil, Belgium.